Johanna, it is great to welcome you back to our second part of our Diversity and Inclusion Q&A initiative. Today, I'd love to talk to you about all things diversity and inclusion, and also understand a little bit about what Avanza Bank is doing to help promote this as well. So welcome back.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. So I know Avanza Bank is quite a large business. Can you just remind us with how big your team is?
My team is around, like all of them is over 100 people, and the closest team I have 8 managers, soon 8, I think I said 7 the other day because the 8th person will start now in 2 weeks, and then I have 3 agile coaches. Okay. And the teams are 24 teams, so I think that's around 160 people.
Wow, okay. So how does the gender balance look within the team?
Yeah, within the management team, it's 50% women and 50% men, so that's really good. Okay. All of them engineering managers, so that's really fun. And then within development, we have 20% women right now, which is, I think, is really going the right way, because in the beginning it was 7%. So we worked a lot to get more women. It's not as easy to find system developers that are women. But I think as both that because we have more women, it's easier to get even more women, and also because we talk a lot about how we work, like our cultures and stuff like that. And I think that we attract more people as well to start with our company. And total Avanza, we are nearly 500 people, and it's 40% women.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it's fantastic, firstly, to see that the management team is 50-50. That's really great. Yeah. How do you think that's been achieved?
Like in the management team, I've tried to get it that way. I always, and because it's easier, because it's more people applying for it, I always have both men and women, like in the final people that you choose between. Be certain that you have both men and women in that. And then, of course, I always try to employ the best person, but you can always look as well to have a good gender diversity. And of course, it's other things that is important regarding diversity, not only gender, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. Gender shouldn't be the deciding factor for companies when it comes to hiring. That should not be the case. Things like competence, engagement, exactly. These things are very, very important.
Absolutely.
But it's, like I say, a great achievement that you have. Have you changed your approach when it comes to job advertisements?
Yes, and mostly regarding when our tech, like the developers, we try to get we have changed it so it's more telling more story about what we're doing, and a little bit more about our culture as well, but of course keeping the technical stuff. But we have switched it a bit, and we find that helps.
And what else do you think you're doing differently?
We have a lot of meetups. I think that helps out as well. We talk about both how we're working, how we change the way we organized. We have technical meetups where we talk about the good things, great things we do. I think all this, when you invite people to actually see how you're working before Corona in person, that they can come and invite and talk to us, that helps. Also be included in different initiatives. We both invite something called Introducing a Girl to Engineering. So that's women that are, I think the youngest is 12 years old, between 12 and 19 years old. Once a year, we invite them for a full day to come and try to do programming at our, and of course they are not the ones working here today because they're too young, but the way, I think it's very important to start early and to help them. It doesn't matter if they come to us or somewhere else, to help them to get more interested in tech. And we'll also be included in different development meetups specific for women, where we have that. And we have mixed genders as well. And being also included something they called female digital engineer, where you kind of work closely to female engineers as well.
Fantastic. It's so great to see how involved in the community the organisation is, and I think that's so important. I'm a big advocate of meetups. I've had the pleasure of attending a few different women-focused meetups in Stockholm, the Women in Data Science event. That was really great. Things are now going virtual, of course, so attending many more different events, but it's such a powerful tool, and it's such a
Yes.
great way to really build that community feeling that, like we said previously, is so important. Speaking to people, networking, potentially for mentors or for opportunities. You never know what's around the corner, right?
No, and let people like women in tech, for example, that's once a year. Like let everybody that wants to go to that do that if they get tickets, and that's also something good. And maybe look at it together. We also actually have programming for children,
wow,
like younger children. So that's also something that's try to help out in different ways.
That's fantastic, because a big problem, I think, is it's starting this inspiration from a young age.
Yeah.
Like we said previously, actually building role models, women in tech, for the younger generation, so they can look at them and aspire to be like them. And if we can get them coding and involved in these things and giving them women mentors from such a young age, I think that is certainly going to have an impact on maybe what they decide for their career, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You said of Women in Tech as well, the conference. Have you ever been yourself?
Yeah, I think 4 times. Yeah, I've been lucky. I mean, you need to sit on the because it's the tickets go really, really fast. I think it's 30 seconds or something. But yeah, I have had the opportunity to go 4 times. I think it's really getting better every year as well. And I like the way that they're. I actually was on this. It was just before Corona this year, and they closed everything. But they make a great mix of different technologies within Women in Tech that I think is really nice, and it's good as well. You can look at it afterwards, online.
That's really nice. Yeah, I tried to get tickets last year for the Women in Tech, and honestly, they are like gold dust. So
I know.
4 times is insane.
Crazy.
So good. But is that something that you'd recommend to people if they can get their hands on?
I do, yes. And I love the initiative that they have that is free. So regardless if you're like a student or if you work somewhere, it doesn't cost you anything. So I think that's really good as well to get a mix of people. But definitely, I think Women in Tech is really good. And if you don't get the tickets, you can look at it afterwards as well.
How have you found it best to promote and nurture women in the workplace, just from your own personal experiences?
I try to not think about men and women differently, so I look at them all the same way. But then, of course, I'm listening in, so it's not unfairness, that kind of stuff. And then, but that could be a man as well. But I help if I have like an individual conversation with someone and they hesitate to do a challenge. I've tried to encourage them to do it. So that's something that could help out. And if you see when you see potential, try to talk to them and help people to use their potential.
And what other initiatives are running internally?
I think that's something internally. When I said meetups, and also when we include, we do with other companies, like share experience with other companies. But when you have a meetup and our it could be a woman, it could be a man, talking there, they feel proud of what they are doing. So that's also a way to encourage people to tell about the great stuff they are doing and invite people. So then you have both the people coming here and the people that can talk about it. So that's one initiative, as we talked about. And also when we've done this, introduce a girl to engineering, and we have had people here, of course, doing that with them. They think it's really fun to be there with younger people, and they're really interested, and help them to see how fun it actually is. We have a trainee program, so that's also something that everybody helps out with. Of course, we have both men and women in that trainee program.
Have you encountered any gender-specific challenges or obstacles throughout your career?
Most of the time, I feel that I've been treated with respect, and this hasn't been a big issue. But of course, there's been situations where I felt that I needed to struggle more and show my competence more, or be listened to in the same way, but not as often. I think I've been lucky, with the people that I'm working with within system development. I find it's not that that big of a problem. Actually, it's been sometimes an advantage to be a girl or a woman. They see the potential in that as well within, because we're not that many women in tech. But I've had challenges as well, but not as many as. I'm glad it hasn't been too many. And then you need to when it happens, it's the same. Don't give up and continue to speak and bring it up if it's something you feel is happening.
Thank you for sharing that. So as a whole, do you still notice a lack of women in technology?
We do need to be more, a lot more women in tech, definitely. It's become a lot better, and I think it's also because now when we have the phone and everything, it comes like closer to everybody, the programming stuff maybe. And there's so many like really bright women that I met that I'm really impressed with, young women that started companies and so on, but it needs to be even more. So we have a lot of work to do.
Of course, it's changing, it's getting better, which is fantastic. But why do you feel there is still that lack?
No, but I think you need to start early. I think women don't know how fun and creative it is to work within tech. They haven't got the possibility, like the opportunity to be at workplace, or like I think that you should start with programming in school early so they can try it out. But I think it's because they don't know how many different. Maybe it's you think about tech as someone sitting in a somewhere in a dark room on their own in front of the computer. I don't think it is like that so much anymore, but maybe it was like that before. But it's so much more, and that I think is they don't know, and they maybe some as well hesitate because I think it's too hard. But it's not. So yeah.
It's certainly about breaking those stereotypes that, of course, are changing, which is great. Collectively, what more do you think we can do to appeal and attract women in tech?
Programming in school is something mandatory. That would be a great change. I think maybe not everybody needs to be a programmer, but then you can try it out and see what that is. And also like invite women and men and show them what different roles is it within tech. It's so many different roles that you can, so much fun you can do. Like you can be UX, you can work with, it's so many different roles, project management, product owner, like so on. So you need to show that to women early, what possibilities there are. And I think that companies have the responsibility to continue to invite both students and other people to their company and show how it is.
Having different initiatives, embracing the different initiatives as well is so important. So important. Yeah. So what would be your advice to anyone trying to get into the technology space right now?
Both, like if depending on where you are, of course, but you can study it. And today I think it's because we know it's the lack of people in tech. There's also, you can take courses and stuff. There's only a few weeks, like 12 weeks programs that you can take. You don't need to be studying for 3 years or something, but that's one. It doesn't suit everybody, but if you're into studying, that's one way to get into tech. And then as we talked about before, talk to the people you know. Could you come and visit them or ask them for advice? How can I, what should I do to be able to start working within this whatever area within tech? How can I do? And try to get some position within tech, and then you can evolve from that. So that's also advice I would say. And don't be afraid of try it, and don't be afraid of applying for the different positions within tech. That's sometimes women's you think you need to check all the boxes, but that's not the way. So
typically women wouldn't apply for a position, I think, unless there's like 100% of the things that is listed that they have. So that's a crazy statistic, but it's just a case of putting yourself out there and going for it. What's the worst that could happen, right?
Exactly. Yes.
There's nothing to lose, only everything to gain. So thank you so much. That's some really great advice. And I know we've touched on some really cool initiatives, but are there any other communities or organizations that you're aware of that you can recommend people to join and to get involved with?
Meetups, you can there's different meetups. Go into meetup and try to search for, you find different ways, and that's always free to anyone. So that's a good way. Women in tech we talked about, and then again I think it's like this girls that code. There's different initiatives around that. Women networks, that's also within tech. That could be good to talk to other people that has the same that you have. And then again, talk to the people you know. Do they have a good network that you could be included to?
Thank you so much for sharing. It's been, again, really fantastic speaking with you and hearing your ideas on diversity and inclusion. And I think this is really going to be helpful for so many people in the industry or wanting to get in the industry. Is there anything else you'd like to say to women in tech?
Just go for it, because it will be so much fun, and there's so much to do, and we need you, because we need the diversity, and it's proven, like both the companies become a lot better when they have like mixed genders and diversity within the companies. And yeah, so go for it, and you will have fun, I promise.
Certainly, this is something that we touch on a lot, that diversity, it really does play a key element in companies' innovation, their productivity, their creativity. So we need you, as Johanna said, to get involved.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Johanna. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure to welcome you on our initiative. We've loved hearing your story, and we will be in touch, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And thank you very much.